what's up everybody? Jason here. Today I'm gonna tie some skirts on a spinnerbait for two. Got a trip coming up in April, but I always like to be prepared, test some things out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some spinnerbaits ready. We're gonna go musky fishing. A lot of people use those bigger baits, things like that. This is semi bigger. It's a 1/2 ounce spinnerbait. You can see it's pretty big. It's got a number 3 or 2 hook on it or something like that. It's a pretty big hook. It might be a number 4 or 3, but anyway, you can see that's a pretty big spinnerbait. I'm going to throw a number 5 thumper Colorado blade on it. This thing will absolutely thump through the friggin' water. That's a big old blade right there. Big teardrop. But I'm just going to do some skirting right now and just kind of play around with some lures. Like I said, we have a trip coming up, me and my brother, to catch some musky here. I say we have the trip in in April, but we may go before then. Just a little weekend excursion. But for now, should be good. Kind of decide, I usually paint the heads on here, but I'm just going to leave this one silver for now and see what happens. What I like to do with my skirts is I like to tie the skirting on. Seems like it makes it more durable. I do have some of the skirting that has the little rubber band thing around it already. So all I have to do is slide it on the hook and push it on there and it's done. But I'm going to go with some custom colors. Here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Getting into the right colors that we need. All right, I'm going to use that silver. I'm going to pull this neon green out of here. The green and black. That seems like a good color combo right there. Go with this neon green and then the silver and black. The green has a little bit of darker green colors in it also, so that will be that'll be a good factor. So what I want to do here is the color that I want on top. See the way I have the bait? Well, this is obviously the top. So the color that I have on top will be the green. So I'm going to put it up. The longer part of it is going to go towards the front because it has to fold over. So when it folds over, it becomes shorter. So I'll put about like that, the longer part of the front. That way, whenever I put the wire on there and it folds over, it'll be about the same length, if that makes sense. So I just want to get my wire here. Always get a long enough wire. I always like to put it equal on ends and then just pull it tight to where it has kind of that V shape. Give it a little squeeze there and then just open it up just a little bit like that. Kind of has a V shape now. So what I'll do is I'll throw this in the middle with obviously the longest part of it. See how that's longer? Maybe pull it just a little bit more. You want to go crazy with it because it's not really going to overlap a whole lot. All right, the longer ends on here, so that's going to be the front. So what I'm going to do is just split the difference. I'll just stick it right there and I'll hold it. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the same lengths. I usually just take this and lay it over top of it like that. And then I will just pull this tight and then cross. Whenever I cross it, I'll pull it real tight. Always make sure you get everything lined out right. Just bring it under, wrap it around. Now, whenever you cross like that, when you come back around, go the opposite side. And at this point, I'll give it a nice tight pull. Bring it back around on the opposite side. Pass it on the opposite side on top. Give it a nice tug, and then I'll just twist it. Keep it tight when you twist it. Give it a few twists here. You don't have to go crazy with it or anything. Just always make sure it's tight. You keep it tight. That's really important. Give it a snip. And then that little point where I snipped it off, I'll just push it over. Doesn't really matter one way or the other. Just lay it right over. Take this thing out here. See how that looks like that? Well, I'll take all these. I really need my scissors, but I don't know where they're at. So I'll see if I can cut it with these clippers here. Just cut the tabs off. See these little tabs on this stuff? Keeps all this together until you're ready to cut it. And then you get your original looking skirting after that. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just keep it, you know, as long as you want it. And I do all my baits like this, all my spinner baits. I think if you tie it, I think it's a better quality. I think it's more durable. That rubber stuff tends to kind of dry rot after a while. Just give it a pull, a tug, a twist. Kind of get it the way you want it. And there's that. For the most part, I'll mess with a little bit more here. But you got some longer trailers, you got some shorter ones. It all looks good. But there's the skirting that I'm going to go with on this one. Looks pretty good. I'm going to actually, I might glue some eyeballs on there too real quick. That looks pretty good though. I mean, you tie it on. Let's go and add some eyeballs, heck. I'm gonna put it upright for that though. I'm just going to use super glue. Let's see what kind. I got green and yellow. Let's put some red eyes on him. Yeah. So I got these different color eyes here that I ordered. Just a bunch of different colors. I'll probably put these right here on him. the red with the black in the middle. Gorilla Glue. You don't want to use much because this stuff is strong. Just a little bead. Pop that puppy right in place. Give it a little press. Same thing on this side. And like I said, Musky's probably not going to care what it looks like anyway, but just to kind of make it look like a bait. I'm not going to mess with too much here because I want to let that glue dry, but you can see that looks pretty good. Got the eyes on there, got the skirting. If I had my tool here, I would put the blade on. All right, found my pliers. It's been a few minutes, so this thing should be dry. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my bigger bearing swivel on here. That way it'll handle that bigger blade. Just like putting a keychain on. Find that right spot. Twist it around. There's that. Now, what I want to do is, what I like to do is take my spinnerbait and my blade and see where this thing's gonna, because it's gonna go like, probably look like this coming through the water, you know, if it's coming like this. So I want my blade to be kind of about that. You know, you could go a little bit longer if you wanted to. I always hang my swivel and my blade, or my bearing and my blade here, to see where it's going to be at. I think that right there would work. So I'm going to mark that right there. And what I'm going to do is cut it just a touch longer than where I marked it at. And this is the way I do it. You can put swivels on there. I just grab it with my pliers, twist it around. So you got kind of a nice loop there. And before I completely close it up, I just stick my other side of my swivel there. Put it in the pliers. And just kind of have a little twisty motion there until it's completely closed up. I always squeeze it to where it's on one side or the other. Just like that. You can see where I closed it. I put it on this other side, that way that loop ain't coming out, or that bearing ain't coming out. I don't know if you can see it or not, but can't really tell, but that's it really. I mean, that thing's not coming off of there nowhere. But that's the spinnerbait once it's finished. Got that big Colorado blade on there. And one thing you want to do, you want to look down hold the spinnerbait like this. Look down the top, kind of eyeball it. You want this wire coming up to be in line with the top of your spinnerbait here. So that way you get a good flow. You want that good, even spin. And you just kind of tweak it a little bit. That looks good right there. But I'll be using this on the water. I'll do some video there whenever we take our trip, or if we do an early trip and just go down there for a day or something. Hey, I hope you all like today's video. Just putting some quick skirting and some blades on a spinnerbait. I bought these already made before I started getting into the pouring the molds and pouring all this stuff myself. So I have these just laying around, so I need to use them for something. So I'm going to make musky lures out of them. You can use them for bass too, but they're kind of heavy. I don't like to use a real heavy spinnerbait. But for musky, it's perfect. It's going to be great. But hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, give me some comments.